Righty then. Hi everybody, thank you very much for joining us on a very sunny Thursday. So yeah, thank you for dialing in. Putting the subject matter together for today, we know we're doing these on a monthly basis. We just thought with the end of the tax year coming up, we'll just slow down, do a run by, just to make sure that everybody is aware of changes that are coming up and things that you should be at the forefront of your mind. So hopefully we'll be confirming stuff that actually you already know about, but if not, there's some things in here which you're really going to have to take some action on. Okay, so the first thing we wrote on our list was the national insurance changes that are coming up, and obviously we're having to keep a little bit fluid because with Rishi Sunak's spring statement, even autumn, where did that come from? Spring statement yesterday. We obviously had to revise this last night to make sure we're talking about the up-to-date information. So Rich, the national insurance increases.
Yeah. Hello everybody. So I'm sure, like us, you were. If not tuning in and following updates of the spring statement yesterday, to find out how it's going to impact, not only on you as an individual and your back pocket, but on your business, on your employees, on your bottom line as a whole. The one thing that we were definitely going to talk about today was the changes to national insurance, because that had been announced a while back now, so we knew it was coming. There were some tweaks to the figures yesterday, but nothing major. The main thing, as I said, was the national insurance. So again, I'll be going over things that I'm sure you're aware of, but it's good to get a quick refresher. So national insurance, there's two types of national insurance. One is employers' national insurance, and that's a tax paid by employers of staff, including temporary staff. That currently stands at 13.8% of earnings. There is then employees' national insurance, which is an employment tax that shows on employees' payslips. That's currently 12% of earnings over £174 a week, I think. So that's as things stand. Changes announced yesterday that we knew were coming. They're both going up in April, both going up by 1.25 percentage points. So employees' NI is going to go up to 13.25%. Employers' NI is jumping up to 15.15%. They're both going to be included in the NI deductions from April, but from April 2023, it's going to be broken out as a separate line called the Health and Social Care Levy. Again, I'm sure you've seen that phrase in the news, so it shouldn't really be coming as a shock. However, what it will mean for you as a business is effectively an increased cost. So if you're employing workers on a PAYE basis, or even on an umbrella employment structure as a recruitment agency, this is going to impact you in terms of your margin, because you're all of a sudden going to be paying an extra 9 or 10% in employers' national insurance contributions, and that's all got to come out of the same pot at the end of the day. Your margins are key to this, because understanding those margins means you're going to know exactly what this is going to have, what impact this is going to have on your bottom line. If you aren't sure of the margins, or you just have a vague idea of average margins, really important to start looking at these numbers now to find out exactly what that's going to do to your bottom line, and determine whether or not you need to speak to your clients. Some of your competitors might be out there now getting in touch with their clients to say, look, we're going to need to look at our charge rates, especially if it's volume. If you're doing volume placements and the margins are relatively small to begin with, this is only going to squeeze them even more. So margins are key. Same message we keep coming back to, Mike, isn't it?
Yeah,
margins are really important.
It links in with something we said before, whereby turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Okay, so make sure you're protecting your business and protecting your margins. We've got lots of things where inflation is happening and costs are going up. This is just another one to add to the pile, unfortunately. And the other one that we wrote down as well, Rich, was the minimum wage changes.
Yeah. So there's going to be an increase in minimum wage as well, jumping up from £8.91 to £9.50 per hour. So again, this is going to have a potential impact on what you're paying your staff if you're placing staff at those sort of rates, minimum wage. You're going to have to be aware of that and look at increasing those accordingly. Again, it's going to potentially have an impact on your margins. So this is definitely something you're going to need to be talking to clients about to look at renegotiating those rates. If you haven't already, I imagine the vast majority businesses are aware of this, but if you aren't, now is the time to look at it. And one thing, actually, just jumping back to the NI situation, one of the things that was announced yesterday that was an update was an increase to the lower threshold of NI. So that's falling in line with the income tax threshold of 12.5 grand, up from about 9.5 grand, I think, previously. So a small giveaway there, but overall, those NI costs are going to be growing.
Absolutely. And another thing we've looked at as well is obviously the base rate increases we've got at the current point in time. So, it might be time to have a look at your funding line. If the increases are being passed down to yourself, I mean, we do actually pass some increases on, but again, it's always worthwhile, end of tax year, might be end of your financial year, take a look at your supplier, go to market, find out whether you can save money that way, because that could be a way of, again, protecting your margins. And again, please feel free to give us a call if you want to take a look at the competitiveness of our offering compared to any other people that are out there in the market. And then the other thing we had in on the list, Rich, because we want to keep this quite short and poignant, the digital right to work checks.
Yeah. So not a change as such, just an update. So the right to work checks were brought in, I think, during the COVID pandemic, to be made digital, so you could carry out those right to work checks digitally. You didn't need to have physical copies of documents. That's been made permanent as of April. So something, again, that was expected, but it just means that it makes life a little bit easier. You can do these online checks. We do them ourselves.
Yeah,
online.
we've got a screening department. Yeah.
So we've got giant screening, which is great. So if you do need support with those right to work checks, we can certainly help. But yeah, just something that's been made permanent, that's going to hopefully make employers' lives that little bit easier. Just something to be aware of.
Yeah, so I think to sum up, there's some impacts on your business that will erode your margins, as everything in life, fuel, etc., is going up at the current point in time. So sorry to be piling more on, and I'm sure you are aware of it. But again, just time to pause and make sure you're ahead of the curve, because obviously, if you're behind the curve, you will see your margins eroded, and then you'll be fighting to get them back. So I think a lot of people hopefully will understand if you're going in and trying to protect those margins, etc. It's a competitive market out there, so if it's all passed on to your workers and someone else can promise them the earth, that gives you an issue. So yeah, some issues out there, but worthwhile pausing and taking a look and making sure you're handling it to protect your business. So right, I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover today, Rich.
I think so. Yeah. If there's anything there that's sort of come to light you weren't sure about, where we are, drop us a line, and we'll be happy to talk further. And yeah, we'll be back hopefully in a month or so for another webinar, where we will hopefully have some more information for you there. So yeah, thanks, Mike. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks a lot now.